What's up? So today I wanted to share a message that it's something that we all try to hide, but honestly, we're all alike in more ways than one. And a lot of times we're so offended by our situation or our testimony and the things that we've been through. We're afraid if anyone sees it or if that message gets out or if people know the things that we've experienced in life, it would almost be an embarrassment, or we feel like that's too touchy to share, or that was too traumatic of an experience for other people to even know that I've had that happen to me or something similar. But I wanted to tell you that your mess is your message and your test is actually your testimony. And I know we've heard this a lot in life where people are like, share the message and give the word or share your testimony. But honestly, there's a lot of truth in that. And you never know that the very things that you've been through could actually help someone who's either experiencing it at that very moment or who will likely experience it at some point. You don't have to be offended by your story. You don't have to feel like, why me? Why did this happen to begin with? Asking all of the questions, trying to get an answer for very things that the enemy meant for our harm is actually meant for our good. I used to deal with depression, right? And it used to be a point in my life where I didn't want to be here. But I understand that the reasons why God allowed me to be here and to make it out of that and to be in this moment now is to share that message with someone who might be dealing with depression themselves, who might be battling with a dark season in their life or something that they can't quite let go of. Maybe something happened to you growing up. Maybe something happened in life in general that possibly left you in a bad place, mentally, physically, whatever the case may be. I want you to know that your mess is your message. And so, regardless of whatever the situation was, that is something that you need to share. It's something that you need to share, one, to overcome, because if we hold things in and we don't deal with it and we don't talk about it, we don't express it, there's no way that we're going to be able to overcome it, right? And then number two, to share it with other people who might need to hear that themselves. Like, I used to be offended. I used to be irritated, embarrassed to share my story, to say the least. And I remember speaking at events and feeling like God was calling me to share a message that I didn't plan on sharing. He was pulling on my heart, tugging at my heart, constantly making me heat up and sweat because he wanted me to share the message of me battling with depression. And I actually used to struggle so many years by myself, just silently dealing with this thing that I felt like was a hindrance. It was something that was taking life from me. It was taking my joy, taking my peace, making me sleep all day, making me have suicidal thoughts and wanting to literally not be alive. And so, because the enemy's plan failed and I'm still here and I'm thriving and God changed my life, the very time that I spent depressed and I thought I was behind and I lost all of those memories in that moment in those time frames, God gave it back tenfold. And I don't regret the seasons that I went through that were dark and that were down and that made me feel alone and lonely, because I was never alone. And the thing is, when I started to share the things that I had went through, I was so shocked at the amount of people that had actually experienced the same things, similar situations, that were currently going through those seasons at the moment that I shared that message. When I spoke at those events and I talked about the message that was on my heart, not in my mind, because I planned for an event for entrepreneurship. But when I got up there, God was telling me to share how my journey through entrepreneurship even got started. Literally, it was a moment of depression where God gave me an outlet through nails. I started doing nails for fun. I started doing nails to have interaction with people. I went to nail school and I loved the conversation I would have because it connected me with like-minded women, and it made me realize that we're all more similar than we think. And it was a way for me to feel empowered and empower other women when I felt low and less than myself at those times. And God helped me transform that moment of expression into a business. And so when I was up there speaking at these events, I just told people, like, this was founded in a moment of depression. I felt like I was lost. I felt alone. I felt insecure. I was in a toxic relationship. my upbringing wasn't the best. I just shared a lot of different things. And I said all of that to say that regardless of whatever it looks like, God can transform that. He can renew you. He can restore you. I remember having a prophet speak over me at a church saying, your secret battle with depression is over. And I cried so hard because no one knew that I was battling with that. No one knew that I was struggling with that. If you've seen me outwardly, you could probably think I was struggling with something. You could possibly think I was unhappy. You could possibly think that, there was something going on. But to say the exact thing that I was dealing with was very crazy, to say the least. But I just want you to know that whatever your mess is, whatever you think is messy in your life, whatever you think is a hindrance, whatever you're embarrassed by, or you feel like it's a traumatic thing that you went through or experienced, or it's something you don't want to talk about, I encourage you to talk about it. And I encourage you to share the message. I was just reading YouTube comments on a video where a man actually said he wanted to start documenting his life because he was bullied a lot growing up and he battled with depression, and he overcame that. And he was saying how, the message that the person shared helped them so much. And the amount of comments and likes that his message got under someone else's video was just crazy to me. And it just goes to show you that if you've struggled with something, or if there's been an area in your life that you maybe wanted to wash away, maybe you wanted to bury it and hide it, like those are the very things that can help you help someone else. And by sharing the message, you can actually overcome the very things that you are struggling with or feel like you're alone dealing with, or whatever the case may be. I was sharing with my fiance earlier. I remember my senior year of high school, while I was battling with this depression stuff and everything, the girls like ganged up on me. They were just so mean, and I never really understood why, right? But sometimes people can see the light of God on your life, even though you can't see it yourself. And I'll never forget, they had a plan. They were saying all these mean things, and they had a plan to bring me a Bible on the last day of school. They said, she needs God. She needs Jesus. Oh, I'm going to bring her a Bible on the last day of school. And they would taunt me, right? And I remember thinking to myself, like, God, that makes me feel so bad. Like, why would these girls who act this way, say that they're going to bring me a Bible? Like, how could they even say that they're going to bring me a Bible? And they're so full of hatred and they're so mean. And I told my fiance, like, it was the devil's goal to make me discouraged in that moment and to shy away from God, because it was associated with something that was negative, and it was associated with people that did not like me and treated me some type of way. And for many years, I thought that was embarrassing. Like, I never wanted to share that story. I never wanted anyone to know that people were going to plan to bring me a Bible on the last day of school because they felt like I needed God. Truthfully, I always had God. I just didn't know I had him. And I was called by God, and they probably saw the light of God on my life. I was definitely battling with things and I was overcoming things, but it's so funny how years later I am full of God, full of light, full of joy, peace, and happiness, all of the promises God says that he'll give you. And it's so crazy because I didn't have to be embarrassed about that. Of course, anybody would feel some type of way, like these girls that don't like me want to be mean to me and do these things or whatever. But I'm just so happy that I actually know God even more now. And I say that to say that regardless of whatever it is that you think is embarrassing, whatever you think is offensive, and I've said it many times in this video, that's your message. Like, share it. I'm not offended or embarrassed to say that I've overcome my battle with depression, because God gave me that battle for a reason. And speaking at events and having been able to help so many women who were dealing with the same things is honestly like the best gift that you can ever have. Like, the very thing that you thought was going to destroy you is the very thing that can make you. And the very things that you're embarrassed of is the very thing that can empower somebody else. So I say all that with a light heart. I'm so happy that I could share part of my testimony, and I plan to share more of my testimonies with you all. But that's the message for today. Your message. And I hope that this helped you. Comment below if it helped you in some way. And I hope that you continue going on your journey, realizing that the things that happen to you happen for you. They don't happen to you for no reason. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.